Hi, everyone. Welcome back. What do you do when the people who are supposed to be your shelter become your storm? When those that are supposed to love you hurt you the most? When the ones who gave you life drain the life right out of you? And what happens when you've tried everything? Conversations, compromise, boundaries, and still all you get is guilt, gaslighting, manipulation, verbal attacks, or silence. What do you do when the pattern is no longer just painful, but toxic, eroding your self-worth, disturbing your peace, and distorting what love is supposed to feel like? Have you ever reached the point where staying connected to your family feels more harmful than healing? Have you ever felt torn between guilt and self-preservation, between loyalty and your longing for peace? Have you ever asked yourself, how do I cut off toxic parents, my siblings, or my entire family without drowning in shame or second guessing everything I thought I believed about love and how it should feel? This video is for those of you who are contemplating one of the hardest, most misunderstood decisions a trauma survivor can face: going no contact with toxic family members. Whether you've already done it, you're in the messy middle, or you're still wrestling with whether it's the right thing to do, this message will meet you exactly where you are with truth, tenderness, and a deep understanding. You don't need permission to honor yourself and cut ties, and you don't need anyone's blessing. What you need is truth. And let me say this before we begin. I'm not here to push you in either direction. Rather, I'm here to walk with you through the weight of that question and help you find clarity, courage, and peace in whatever decision you make. Hi, I'm Carrie McKenna Reese. I'm a trauma survivor, a certified complex trauma educator, and a coach, and I've walked the agonizing path of going no contact with toxic family members. And let me tell you, it was the hardest decision of my life, but it was also the most freeing. This channel is a space where individuals like you can find education tools and stories that speak directly to the lived reality of complex trauma. If this kind of content resonates with you, if you're looking for real talk and real healing, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. Click the bell for alerts. For additional support between videos, follow me on social media. You'll find all the links in the channel description. I also want to give a big shout out to my current subscribers. Thank you for being a part of the Trauma Well Tribe here at Carrie Coaching. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so honored to walk this path with you. First, let me be honest about something. Nobody walks away from family easily. The moment you start setting boundaries, especially with family, you're often hit with a wave of guilt, not just from them, but from the world around you. People say things like, but they're family, as if that justifies the harm. We're reminded every day that family is supposed to be sacred, but sharing DNA does not give someone the right to mistreat you. Being related does not mean they get unlimited access to your time, your heart, your mind, or your soul. It's unbelievable the shaming that goes on in society when someone decides to go no contact with members of their family. If someone outside of your family constantly dismissed your feelings, ignored your boundaries, or only called when they needed something, we're told to cut ties with them. No explanation, no guilt, just a clean break. But when it's a parent, a sibling, or someone who shares your last name, you're expected to swallow your pain and stay silent? No, that's a double standard with a halo on top. And let me tell you, nowhere in the Bible does it say, thou shalt endure emotional abuse for the sake of appearances. Jesus flipped tables, not boundaries, and we don't need spiritual guilt trips disguised as family values. The decision to go no contact is never made lightly. It's not impulsive, it's not revenge, and it's definitely not because we didn't try. It's usually the very opposite. We've tried for years. We've prayed, forgave, tolerated, stayed silent, made excuses, sought therapy, and bent over backwards to keep the peace. We did everything we could to preserve the relationship. But reconciliation and healing, they require truth. And sometimes the truth is reconciliation is not possible because the most unsafe place for you is in your family. When the abuse, gaslighting, control, or emotional manipulation continues even after we've set boundaries, we're faced with an impossible choice. It's their comfort or our own survival. That's not cruelty, that's clarity, that's courage. Cutting off a toxic family member isn't just a boundary, it's a grieving process. You're not just walking away from a person, you're letting go of a deep innate desire, the hope that maybe, just maybe, they'd finally change, that they'd see you, hear you, choose you. And when that hope dies, it hurts and it bleeds out in the deepest part of the soul. You're not walking away from family. You're walking away from a cycle that's destroying you. You're choosing peace over pain. And that's not selfish. That's sacred. Let me clarify something. Go in no contact. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you're cold or unforgiving. It means that contact with them is incompatible with your safety, your healing, your growth, or your peace. And sometimes cutting someone off is the most loving thing you can do. It's loving towards yourself and loving towards the broken system you were born into but can no longer enable. Because staying and pretending, it only prolongs the pain and enables the cycle. Walking away says, I will not participate in the destruction anymore. No contact is not about punishment. It's about recognizing that some relationships are simply unsafe, no matter how much you love that person. Cutting off toxic family members becomes the only sane option left. It's the final boundary put in place after every other one has been ignored. For those of us coming out of complex trauma, this boundary isn't just protection, it's liberation. Going no contact might be the most healing, life-giving decision you'll ever make. It was in my case. My entire life turned around for the better when I cut off my biological mother and brothers. You can love people from a distance. You can forgive people without reconciling with them. You can choose peace without explanation. Knowing it's time to walk away is one thing. Actually doing it, that's another story. So let's talk about what that process can look like step by step. So, how do you actually do it? If you're considering no contact or you know it's time, but the how feels overwhelming, let me offer you a few steps that can help you move forward with clarity and care. These aren't rules, they're not one size fits all, they're invitations, tools you can tailor to your own healing journey. And for some of you, walking away doesn't mean slamming the door. It might mean slowly stepping back, reducing contact, responding less. That's still no contact when it's on your terms. So, step one, get clear on why you're choosing this. Before anything else, write down your reasons. Name the patterns, the harm, the moments that broke your trust. You're not doing this impulsively. You're doing it because something in you knows it is no longer safe, right? This step is vital and it serves two purposes. It gives you something to come back to when the guilt or self-doubt tries to rewrite the story, causing you to step backwards into old, unhealthy patterns. And it gets the weight of your feelings off of your soul and onto paper so you can physically see it. Step two, decide what kind of no contact you need. Now, I know that the title of this video is How to Cut Off Toxic Family Members, but not every no contact situation looks the same, and I'm here to support all of you. You need to decide, do I want to fully go no contact? That includes blocking all communication, phone, social media, email, snail mail, the whole shebang. Or do you want to go low contact for logistics only? Maybe your family member is a business partner, or you work together or live next door to each other, Or do you want your no contact to be a temporary space with the option to revisit? You get to define the terms that honor your peace. Some decide to go no contact at first and they put their no contact boundary in place, or they give themselves some space to fully sort things out to decide what will be best for them in the long run. Whatever you decide, remember, no contact is as much an inner boundary as it is an outer one. You have to stop checking their social media. You have to block emails from them. You have to send back snail mail. You have to delete old messages from them. Now, step three, create a safety and support plan. Going no contact is emotionally intense. I know that. I've experienced it and it is very much emotionally intense. You'll need a few trusted people who get it, a trauma-informed coach or a therapist, a friend who's walked a similar road, someone there to support you. Build a support net that you can lean into, especially during the early days, holidays, or moments of guilt and grief. Even one emotionally safe person can make all the difference when you're unraveling years of family conditioning. One person is all I had at the beginning of my journey, and that person was my life support. Their presence reminded me daily that I wasn't crazy for choosing peace. I was deeply wounded and courageous in my need to heal. Even with support in place, the hardest part may still be ahead. You need a support person because this is where things can get really difficult. The world doesn't always applaud your healing. Even if you've made peace with your choices to go no contact, not everyone else will understand that choice or support it. And we'll talk more about that later. Step four is write a letter. This is about setting your truth free. Writing a letter is a powerful healing tool. It gives your pain a voice. It helps you untangle the emotions, the confusion, the years of silence and suppression. It's where you say what you never got a chance to say, what they wouldn't hear, what you needed them to understand. You're choosing no contact and to support that, a letter is one way communication. You want to avoid the repeated abuse that has gotten you to this point. A letter is a powerful statement about your intentions, and it protects you from getting pulled into justifications, arguments, or emotional manipulation. It carries weight. Written words land deeper. They etch on the heart. They are lasting and they are powerful. A letter doesn't get talked over. It doesn't get distorted. It stands on its own. And above all, this letter is for you. It's not about convincing them, it's about claiming your clarity. It's a declaration of your sovereignty, your boundaries, and your truth. Even if they never read it, you will know you said what needed to be said. This step is vital, so please don't skip it. You have to communicate your no contract boundary with them. That's emotional maturity. Not only that, but your truth deserves a witness, right? And sometimes that witness is you, your soul seeing it through your eyes. That's healing. Look at all the reasons you wrote down when you were completing step one and start there. And let your letter be raw, let it be honest, let it be messy. Say the things you were too afraid to say, the ones they refused to hear and never had the capacity to receive. Speak the truth without shrinking. Write about the harm, the moments that broke your trust, the times you felt small, erased, invisible. You don't have to list the specific details if you don't want to. Just be clear on getting your point across. Write about the confusion of loving someone who also hurt you and name the ways you've tried to talk, tried to repair, tried to stay. Write down how all the hurt has affected you, how it's bled through other parts of your life and relationships. And then write about why you're choosing peace now, why you're walking away, not from love, but from harm, why you're choosing to protect your future instead of staying trapped in the past. This letter is where you stop silencing yourself. It's not about changing them, it's about freeing you. It's you scaling the highest mountain and standing in love for yourself at the top. Then, after writing the letter, when you're ready, when you feel grounded and clear, send it. You can also make a copy of it so you have it to reread when the guilt and heartache creeps back in. That's exactly what I did. I wrote my letter in detail, recalling the most profound memories of being abused. It was around 11 pages long, if I remember correctly. It was the truth of my pain on paper, and then I sent it. I reread it often for a couple of years as I struggled to rebuild my life. Make sure whatever you decide on the time frame of mailing that letter, that it honors you, and you are not mailing it with the hopes that they'll finally understand. You don't need their validation. You need your own voice. This letter will become a turning point. The moment your clarity gets louder than your conditioning. Writing it with your heart open, right? And write it without an apology. You've earned the right to speak your truth, even if it's just on paper. Okay, step 5, prepare for pushback. Now, if your family is controlling, narcissistic, or guilt driven, expect resistance. They might escalate, they might twist the truth throughout the family, and they might send flying monkeys to check in. Flying monkeys, I know that sounds silly. Flying monkeys are people the toxic person manipulates into doing their dirty work, guilting you, pressuring you to re-engage, or carrying messages on their behalf. It's a term often used in narcissistic abuse recovery circles to describe those who guilt you, pressure you to re-engage, or carry messages on the abuser's behalf. They may even weaponize your religion, your past, or your mental health. They are not going to understand why you're doing this. So try to let go of that expectation. This choice isn't for them, it's for you. It's not about their feelings, it's about yours. And it's not about making them understand, it's about standing in your own clarity, your own truth. Many of us hold on to a quiet hope that if we just explain it clearly enough, they'll get it. That is the magical thinking of our wounded inner child, the part of you that still longs for repair, a big hug, and genuine amounts of love. But it's not your job to make them see what they've refused to face. Let me give you some of the most common tactics used in toxic families. They lay on guilt trips saying things like, after everything I've done for you. This is another way of them telling you they don't respect your boundaries. They may also gaslight you, saying something on the lines of, that never happened, you're imagining things. This is their way of saying, I don't want to face reality, so I will make you doubt your own. They may shame you with words of obligation with things like, but we're family. This is really code for, I don't like it, so you don't get to say no. They may also stand in victimhood. This is where no matter what you say, if you speak up, they are suddenly the one who's hurt and you've done the wrong, right? And then there is triangulation. This is where they drag other relatives into the conflict to gang up on you. These tactics are manipulative. They keep you stuck. They turn your needs into problems, and they're the reason you've walked away from every interaction with them, feeling drained, guilty, or like you're the crazy one. When this happens, you're not obligated to respond. Practice your no now in case anyone brings up the topic of your decision. No, I'm not available for that conversation. No, I'm not willing to revisit that dynamic. Or just silence. That's valid too. Silence is awesome. Okay, step 6, make room for grief. This is what no one tells you about how grief shows up after you go no contact. You grieve the mother or father you needed but never had. You grieve the sibling bond that just is not there. You grieve the loss of a childhood that should have been special, full of memories and love. You grieve the dynamic of what a loving family is supposed to be. You'll grieve the conversations that never happened, the apologies that never came. You'll grieve not just the people, but the possibility of who they could have been in your life. This isn't just about cutting someone off. It's mourning the truth of who they really are and releasing the version of them your heart so desperately wished they were. And then there is the guilt, often placed on you by the very people who broke you when they say, "But that's your mother. Family is everything. You'll regret this when they're gone. Can you just let it go? You need to get over it." That's emotional manipulation masquerading as morality. It is not love if it costs you your peace. It is not loyalty if it demands your silence. And it is not family if it refuses to take accountability for its harm. Grief doesn't mean you've made the wrong choice. It means you're honoring the depth of what was lost. And through that grief, you'll grow. So expect it and let it come and be gentle with yourself. You might feel relief one day and devastation the next. That's normal. Let yourself cry, let yourself rage, and let yourself rest. You're allowed to mourn the family you so wanted while still walking away from those that hurt you. This is not just a boundary, it's mourning, right? A reckoning with who they truly are and releasing who they'll never be. It's the start of your return to self. Reclaiming your voice doesn't always sound loud. Sometimes it's silence, sometimes it's grief, sometimes it's walking away without rage or explanation. But make no mistake, that quiet step is still sacred. You're not selfish. You're not being dramatic or overreacting, and you are not the problem. You are a human being learning to choose peace over pain, safety over silence. And that is not abandonment. That is alignment, alignment with your own soul. That is sacred work. And you are allowed to walk away with your dignity intact. You're not walking into the storm, you're walking out of it, into safety, into truth. And that's coming home to yourself. If you're walking this road now, feeling torn, unsure, or heartbroken, I see you. I know how much this decision can gut you, and I know the freedom waiting on the other side. Whether you choose low contact, limited contact, or you cut your family off altogether, know this. You are not overreacting. You are reclaiming your life, and for that, you are incredibly brave. The most courageous people I know are those who choose to honor themselves and heal from complex trauma. If this video brought you any clarity, comfort, or encouragement today, I invite you to subscribe to the channel for more content like this on complex trauma, toxic family, and healing. Please like this video, share it with someone you love, and leave a comment below. Let's start a real conversation in the comments. Have you ever thought about cutting toxic family members out of your life? Going no contact? What helped you make the decision? You never know whose story will help you, and you never know if your story will help someone else. When you speak your truth, you're not just helping yourself, you're lighting the way for someone else. Your voice matters more than you know. Thank you for watching. Thanks for healing, and I'll see you in the next video.